Hi, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another version of the Property Investors Club. Today we have got two special guests, Julia and Derek. How are you guys?
Not bad, Graham. How are you?
Fab. And look, I wore my golf shirt today just because getting you guys off the golf course these days is unbelievable.
Absolutely, and so did I.
I wore mine yesterday, so I'm in a t-shirt.
Very, very good, very good. We should just do a golf conversation with you guys for the amount that you guys play. But Julia, you're ex-athlete. Derek, obviously, you're ex-footballer as well. So sport runs in the family, I guess, and it's maybe one of the things that drives you in property is the opportunity to go and play some golf.
Absolutely. When we set off on our journey, we were looking for the time freedom as opposed to just the financial freedom, and what we've done has enabled us to do that. Certainly when you wrote down your goals, it was all about having to play the best golf courses around the world.
Try and play the best courses around the world. I'm lucky that I love my golf. Jules does as well. And to get around the world and travel, see the world, but also play golf is great. Because as a footballer, I travel the world, but only saw a hotel and a football stadium. I didn't see much of the world traveling, but now's a chance for us to do that. And golf is a common theme that we both enjoy, and what we've done in the last 2.5 years has made that even more fun, I think.
Absolutely. And throughout lockdown, Graham, obviously the first 7 weeks we weren't allowed out and our golf courses were shut. But since then, we've managed to get out there and play a lot more golf. So we've absolutely made up for the lost time, which is great. Going back to our journey and how that's happened, we've really used angel investing to give us that platform. We also sold our main residence last year, and we've downsized. And one of our other goals is also to go and spend our time between Spain and the UK, not just stay here, because we love playing golf in Spain, and we've got a little apartment out there. But one of the main reasons we're able to do this is through our angel investors. So just to give you a bit of an overview of our angels, we've managed to raise 290,000 through 9 angels over the last 2 years. And one of the things that we were taught is don't just go out there with proposals everywhere, talk to everyone, get them to review your financial documents and ask for feedback, and that absolutely worked wonders for us. I put together a business plan saying we wanted to do 12 houses in 12 months, which at the time was completely unrealistic, but it certainly got people talking and wondering what we were doing. But we've managed 11 in 2 years, mainly the slowdown of the process of getting the refinances and the length of time it does to take a transaction, which I think we were a little naive on at the time when we signed up to it, when we said we'd do the 12 in 12. But I did this document that said 12 in 12, we want 300,000. We'd gone on a cash flow strategy, and as you know, one of the reasons that we've become good friends is because we're investing up in the northeast, and we chose Durham. Durham, a very good cash flowing area. We're not going to get much capital growth, if any. But we've now got 7 properties in the northeast, cash flowing several hundreds of pounds per month, which is great. But what we've managed to do is get angels with small pockets of money to be able to buy each little house. We've not gone silly. Our first goal was £5,500 a month. And to do that, we got 290,000 from angels through 9 angels. The largest angel we've got is 70,000, and the smallest angel we've got is 10,000. We've got 2 at 10,000. But don't underestimate them 10,000s. One of them paid for a rewire on our assisted living house last year. Degs will tell you a bit more about this when we go on to our mentorship section of the interview. But we got a property on mentorship which we turned into an assisted living, and we completely underestimated the cost of doing that. At the time it was going to be a HMO, but once we converted our strategy into doing the assisted living, our cost doubled. So obviously we needed to go out and get a bit more money, and we managed that quite simply by expanding out to angels that had already shown interest, and we got someone to pay for the rewire and the fire alarms. We got someone else to pay for the plumbing, and then we had someone else put 40,000 in for the deposit, which was great. So plenty of angels, but nothing too serious in terms of a large development.
Brilliant. Julia, thanks very much for that. And I've got a quick question for you. For those people who are maybe very new on their journey and aren't quite sure what an angel is, we're not talking Gabriel, are we, by any chance here?
No, we're not.
What is an angel investor?
Okay, an angel investor is someone that will support you, lend you money for a period of time under an agreement, and they don't need any clause on the property or anything to do with it. They're just lending you the money and you will pay it back in a period of time. We offer all our angels 5%. We've always made a policy that no more angel is more important than the other one. And we don't go, this is project one and you can get 8% or 10%. I know certain people do, this is this particular project and we're offering this on that. We've always said to ours, it doesn't matter whether you come into the journey now or in 2 years or 4 years, we're going to be here for you. If you want to put your money with us, it's secure in terms of these. We always say to ours, you know, we will take the risk. You know, it's our project. We're just borrowing the money from you for a period of time. And so far, we've had 2 angels say to us, we don't want the money back. Can we just now go on to a rolling agreement? And we still offer them 5%. The day the interest rate went down, what was it, about 7 or 8 weeks ago, my phone was like absolutely silly. People are like, please tell me our interest rate with you is not going down. We're staying at 5%. Can you take another 20,000? So it was absolutely superb.
I suppose what's really nice about that as well is we're all helping each other, and especially with COVID-19 being around, and as a community, we've had to pull together in a variety of different ways. And you guys know that we've been in shielding, and some of our friends been dropping food off at the house and the odd bottle of wine as well. And pulling together as a community is really important. And being able to help your friends out, you know, in terms of they're giving you some money as a loan to help you guys build your property portfolio, but in return, you're helping them out as well because they're getting a little bit more from you than maybe they would get somewhere else.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've had so many requests for putting them in, and we've said we've not got any deals on the table at the moment. So we'll come back to you once we've got one. And we've sat down with them and said, this is the process. Or we've said, send the money over now and I'll sit with it in my bank account for 4 months, and then it's already there to go, because obviously we've got to be careful of the anti-money laundering rules. Yep. But the one that we did on mentorship last year, our angel was more than happy to speak to our solicitor, and then when we did the refinance out 7 months later, the solicitor paid the angel back. That was part of one of the discharge agreements from the mortgage company, that the solicitor had to pay the angel back. Within 24 hours, that 40,000 was back in our bank account because the angel just didn't want it. But the rules were solicitor has to pay the angel back, and then the new agreement came back in the following day. And then that money has been put into another property up in Durham that we bought in January. So having angels that want to move them on is absolutely superb.
Brilliant. So that's been a good start for you guys. And you started with buy-to-lets, and we've had a few conversations, Julia, especially around some, having a bit of an eyes wide open approach to maybe some potential bigger projects somewhere down the line. But you have to start with your strategy. You have to build it up. You have to increase the finance coming in order to get to where you want to go. And I guess the goal would be having a beautiful place on a golf course somewhere that you guys can just sit and play, drink sangria, and shoot around the golf. Is that about right?
Absolutely, unless we can afford an apartment on the world cruise ship. That was the ultimate, so that we can just sail from country to country and place to place, and then get off with us clubs and play whatever course we wake up nearest the following day.
Phenomenal. And we talked earlier before about you guys spend a little bit of time at Ramside because that's where you invest in the Northeast. So staying there, and we've done a lot of work with Ramside over the last 3 to 4 years, but also Close House as well, which is a phenomenal course. And should have had the Masters currently at this moment in time. So we've got some nice courses up north. So I'm looking forward to our round of golf in the foreseeable future. But on investments, I think probably getting people to take some legal advice, checking with their solicitors a little bit, maybe having the right documents in order to make sure that they look after themselves instead of just taking people's money and going and spending it at the sweet shop.
Absolutely. Never take money that you're not putting into the property. Absolutely no. I've got a spreadsheet. I'm not too analytical, but from being a project manager, I like my documentation in order. I've got a spreadsheet that says this is the property, this is how much is on a mortgage, this is what was angeled, and then they roll on and off as required. But I know that the cash flow that we've got takes into account everything, and I know that if that a particular angel wants some money back, I've either got another angel that's wanting to come in to replace that angel, or I know I can refinance out where the money is. So absolutely make sure you've got everything in place, but be honest with your solicitors. If you have taken any angel money, and you know, they will do the process. I'm fortunate, the solicitor I've been using for the last 2 years since we started this, I was buying houses with on a residential for our personal stuff 17, 18 years ago. My brother's been buying properties throughout that time, so we've got a relationship with that solicitor, so I can actually have a conversation and say, this is where the money's coming from, and he's more than happy, you know, with the rules. So I think it's easy to get scared by the anti-money laundering rules and what the processes are, but if you're honest and you're not hiding anything and you're doing nothing wrong, then there's no issue. So yeah, be on top of it.
So if I'm sat in the house right now, I'm on furlough, I'm looking like I might get made redundant, I'm thinking of investing a little bit of money into the world of property myself, what would be my first task for me to go out and try to look for somebody who wants to come and invest on me, even though I don't have any credibility in the industry? What would you say is your top tip for them to go and do first?
From my experience, and I think Degs will back me up here, the people that you're talking to, they're not bothered about the property. They're not bothered about what your project is. They're investing in you and your caliber and your credibility. So as long as you've always done well by them, I think even down to the basics of you show up on time, your integrity, your honesty, what you've done in your work, because although you've not got a bio for being in property, just they're investing in you, they're giving you the money, not the property.
Great piece.
And it's one of them, Graham, it's not just, you don't go and tell people. We just had a conversation with Julia's best friend, and from that we got 4 angels. It's just a conversation of where we want to go, what we want to do, what we'll offer, and then it just rolls. You don't go and approach, it just rolls and rolls and rolls. Another one we had was Jules had to go to hospital for an appointment and took someone with her, and the phone went in the car, and it was all builder. I found your property, it's worth £1 million. Jules goes, I'll give him 600 grand. No, you've got to see it. I'll speak to you later, mate. Put the phone down. Well, who was that? A conversation developed and money came out of that because we told her what we were doing. And it's not a case of you have to go and find people. People will come to you. But I think they don't understand that. Where's my angels? I don't know who they are. They're within your network already, but you don't know. And that's where people have to open their mind a little bit. You're not looking for angels. You're finding people who might know somebody, but they're in your circle already. And that's what people are. They are out there, but they will be within people you know already, but you don't know what they've got in the bank and in 0.01% or something with -2 after inflation. And that's what it is. It's so easy to find it without being nervous and looking for people. Just have conversations.
Yeah. Plan
a phone call while you're sitting there. Plan someone to ring you while you're sitting with someone in the house if you need to. But they are around you. And we've had people just come, and her best friend's been superb. Her best friend's been brilliant because she just talks to people and tell her what we're doing with her. Oh, I've got some. Can I have a word with Julia? And that's how it just rolls and rolls and rolls.
But also, your credibility will go up the more people realise that you're doing property. So although you haven't got a bio at the moment saying, you know, I've got 10 properties, if you say to people, I'm going to retire in 2 years' time and I'm going to get 7 properties or 8, or this is what I'm doing. So rather than worry about the money side and the angel, tell them what you're doing, tell them what your goal is in terms of the property, not why you're doing it, but some want to know why you're doing it. For us to go and play golf, everyone would just think, ugh.
You play golf anyway.
But with us having the social housing strategy and looking after mentally ill ones, you know, we'd always have that our 13th, 14th and 15th property would be something that we put back, 12 to get us established and enough for our financial freedom, and then 3 to go back in. But I retired on the 12th of March. You retired last Friday. People now know we're serious and they can see what we've done, but they also knew that that was our goal for this year, for us both to be stopping. And we were playing golf on Monday with a friend who brought a friend along because members have to sign visitors in. So he brought another member, so it reduced our green fees. I was walking down the 12th and he says to me, I've got a stack of money because I retired in April myself. I'd really like to talk to you about property. I'm interested in investing with you.
Brilliant.
So opportunities come when you least expect it. But if people know that that's what you're doing, that will open more doors. So don't be scared to tell people, even if you're a bit shy at the beginning, and I know a lot of people are, they don't want to go out there going, I'm going to get all these properties, I'm going to, you know, they're a bit timid. You know, that fear factor that we were told on the very early courses, get over it, get out there and tell everyone what you're doing. And
that's a good point, Julia, as well, as if anybody comes across this video on YouTube and is interested in property investment, don't just go and do it without any kind of training. You know, seek some really good advice, get some training under your belt, speak to some of the experts in the industry already, because surrounding yourself with knowledge and you growing as an individual is going to massively help you on your own individual journey. And we've both gone through Asset Academy and their training, and mentorship we'll move on to with Degs in a minute, so we'll talk about that, but that's vital, isn't it?
We couldn't have done it without the training. I think a lot of people thought I could because of my personality and that I am a driver in terms of the...
And I'm the handbrake.
But you can't. It's vital that you're in that network, reaching out to other people. You know, our WhatsApp group in the Northeast, we're all interacting and that. You have to help each other. We're looking at angeling someone else at the moment to give them a hand up. The community that we're all with, you know, although everyone thinks you're all competing for the same houses, you're not. Everyone's got the different strategies. Everyone's on the journey at different times, at different paces, and everyone helps each other. But we absolutely could not have done it without the training. We've done, what have we done? Creative finance, which was really good. And to be honest, creative finance, we did the 5-minute breakout with Mark Dalton, and that gave me the biggest kick up the backside to stop worrying and just get on and do it. And I've been back and resat creative finance and thanked Mark personally for what he did on that. We've also done HMO, which was great in terms of what we learned, but it's not a strategy we're going down. But our assisted living, we use a lot of the principles from HMO with the safety aspect of it.
Commercial.
We've done commercial, and we just sat commercial again last weekend on the reset, and we couldn't believe how much we'd remembered, but also the bits that we'd not taken in, we absolutely did. And we've got auctions this weekend, so we're really looking forward to this weekend. But yeah,
brilliant,
don't underestimate the training.
And the course of the assets are brilliant, and the guys who deliver them, their knowledge is worth every penny just alone. Just having that 5-minute chat is invaluable in some of the stuff that you pick up from them. Also, the 2-hour chat in the pub afterwards. Yes, I'm trying not to mention alcohol at this point in time. It's a little bit too early in the morning. But Degs, we were talking about training, and I guess part of that training is mentorship, and mentorship is so vital. And you know, you being an ex-professional football player, having a coach and having a manager around you is probably second nature. But stepping into the world of property, did you ever think that you were going to have a property coach and a property mentor to help you?
Not really, no. When Jules told me we were going on this 2-hour training program, and then we did the 3-day, and I was a little bit. I'm one of these people that can't sit in a room and digest a great deal. I've never have been. Even when I went to university, I found it hard to digest things that just keep flowing at me. But I did learn an awful lot, but didn't realise I'd learned that much. Things were going in and things were sticking in there. So when we booked the full package, and we got all the courses, and we tried the mentorship. Was I sceptical? Maybe a little bit I was. I think Jules was as well. We weren't sure what to expect. But we had Kim Fabian, and we agreed what we were going to do. We were going to look in different parts of the country. We said, no, let's look at where we're living now. I think sometimes you can, if you work on where you know and what you know locally, it's easier to find the right places and right houses. But we didn't want to go to Durham, didn't want to go to Stoke. We'd looked at all those areas initially, but we chose our local area. And when King came up, we met him and we based ourselves in a local hotel for 3 days as our base, because we were members of the gym there, so we could use the thing no problems. And what really gripped me so much about Kim was her real calm persona. She was calm, she was relaxed, she oozed confidence, and Jules explained the situation, you know, she's the driver. She's bum on the front foot all the time, and I'm a bit in the background. I sort of grab hold of the shirt tails, and she pulls me along with it. And
nothing to do with you being a centre half pulling shirt tails, by the way.
No. Luckily, I don't go in front, or the nose might be a bit rearranged with the old elbow coming out. But no, Jules is very much the driver in our relationship. She knew what she wanted to do. There's an age gap between me and Jules didn't want me playing golf at the age of 60 and they're still working. So that was one of the long-term plans. We wanted to spend a lot more time together because over the last 3.5 years, she spent a lot of time working away in London or Brighton or Basingstoke. So we had a lot of time when I was in a house on my own and she was stuck at a hotel. So that was one of the long-term plans, to get together more and spend time. And just got to go on. But over the last 6 months with lockdown, moving from a large house to a small house, we're still talking, we're still alive. So we must be okay together at the moment, even though we're both retired now. So it has worked pretty well. But back to mentorship, it was there. And Kim had done all the research on properties. We had about a dozen to look at and then find out all the estate agents. So I did all them. So I done all the research before she came. And then we sat down and said, right, we're going to go out and have a look now. And okay, and we drove around and we looked at it. Yeah, we're going, what? No, just really good discussions between us about what we think is right. Kim's going, I don't think this is the right area because of this. And I like this one here and that one. But we then decided, she said after the following day, well, tomorrow, she says, what we'll do is we'll go to the estate agents. And that was the afternoon, wasn't it? We'll go to the afternoon, we'll go to the estate agents after lunch and, we'll find one or two and we'll have a chat. We'll see what they've got. And so we have to tell you what she said. I will do the first one and I'll show you how I do it. And she walks into this estate agent. I'm a property investor. I'm looking to invest in property. If I buy a house, we do. And that's exactly what the estate agent went, oh, well, here we go, another investor. And he was so standoffish. But she just went, I'm looking for this. If I get this, can you rent it? And he gave her absolutely nothing, really. He gave her no information. Okay, thank you very much. And he walked out. So the second one goes, you do it, Julia. And now, so we've just, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, we've got one or two here, yeah. But give us your name and number and your contact. We'll be in touch when it comes up. And it was very, again, they could be quite negative towards you, the letting agents, estate agents, when you say you're an investor. If you go, I'm looking to buy a house, oh, yeah. When you say the word investor, some of them go, okay, another one. So the third one, and this is a really funny one.
Can I just say, before you go into that particular story, one of the things out of mentorship, when we signed up for the training, I said to Dex, one of our goals will be the mentorship element will pay for the rest of the training. I'd set myself the mindset of, right, the 27,000 that we've invested, we want to get that back throughout our mentorship, whether it's, whatever it was buying. So I'd already got a hidden goal for Kim. But I said to Kim, I'm not interested in the mentorship. It's not me that this is about. I want you to really focus on Dex, and this is the issues that I see at the moment that he's got. So that we'd already worked out how best to use the mentorship. Because I was going out talking. We actually used sources, so we'd not done much talking to estate agents at that point, but we'd already got 3 properties, I think, by the time we'd had mentorship, didn't we? So I'd focused Kim, and one of the things I said to Kim was, the biggest problem we've got investing in this area, and this is why we purposefully chose our local area, was, as you've mentioned, Dex was a footballer. For those who don't know, is Derek Mountfield. He used to play for Everton. So what I'd said to Kim was, whenever Dex goes into an estate agent or any shop, wherever we go, all they want to do is talk football. I said, so I'm not being funny. What we need to do is get Dex so that he can get back on script as quickly as possible and bin the football conversation. So that's just to add a bit of context to it. So on to your own story.
So the third one we go to, it's a real small, independent one. We look in the window, try the door's locked. Oh, ding dong, press a bell, door opens, you walk in. Hi, I'm looking to invest in property in the area. Oh, come and sit down here. This young lad sitting there and we're talking away.
Me and Kim were sat in the window out of the way.
They sat away. They sat away. So we didn't want to put pressure on Jules when she was there. So I stood with Kim and they stood away. I'm looking for these properties, looking to invest in blah, blah, blah. And it was going on. It was going really well. about 5-10 minutes, and then Jules walks over thinking, oh, I think you must be talking football. And I wasn't. I was still talking properties to this young lad. And he goes, I tell you what, I'll put you on our database. I said, that's brilliant. Say, and well, what's the email? She goes, my name is Julia, blah, 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 at Mountfield. Like, and what's your name? Derek. And he went, Derek. And he picked up his phone and went, is that you on the back of my phone? On the back of the phone, he had a picture of the 85 Everton European Cup winning team. Yeah. And he went, I've got a property for you. And he went down into the cupboard. It's not on the market yet. We ended up buying it for £85,000. I made the bid the following day, accepted it, converted it to assisted living. So my face and my name helped me on that score.
Absolutely.
But we've had 2 or 3 others come through with him. But it was so funny when he just jumped on, is this you on my phone? And now we keep in contact. We talk to him. He knows what we want. But for me, mentorship gave me a bit more belief in myself. I've been a sports, I've been a team player all my life. I've been in team sport for 20 odd years. So when you're on your own, it's a different ball game altogether. And I thought the mentorship, and I think Kim agrees, and the Jules definitely, that Kim gave me the more confidence to go and do the communication, the talking. The research is no problem for me. I can do the research and I'm pretty good with the figures, but it's the one-to-one because, as we said before, people around here know me so well on the Merseyside area. It always goes on to football, and I don't want to talk football 90% of the time. I try and keep away from it, but I can't. It follows me around. But the mentorship that Kim gave me the confidence to actually say, yeah, and I got that property, and I'm quite proud of the fact that I got the first property on our big journey. It was going to be a HMO. It turned into assisted living, and we spent a lot of money on it. We put 4 rooms, a communal room, a little kitchen, a staff room. Each room has its own kitchen in there. So, and we're very proud of what we've done there, because been working in the special needs education network for the last 12 years, 10 to 12 years, it's nice that we can help people who've finished that journey through schools and have gone out into life and still need that support. And there's not enough of that support for them. So that one property we got there gave us both an awful lot of pride that we've done something to help other people. People have come to see it. I know our builder is immensely proud of the work he's done there. He thinks it looks fantastic. He's really pleased what he's done. All the people who've helped us went to see it before we finished, and they're all very pleased with what they've seen. But the mentorship to me was important. I'm not an outgoing forward person talking apart from sport. I've been a sportsman all my life. It was not football, it was golf, it was cricket, it was tennis, it was rugby.
But you wouldn't believe that now, would you?
But now talking about property.
Julia, I was getting a bit disappointed he wasn't throwing tennis in there.
But even when I left football, I went to university, did a sports science degree, and then went into school. So all my life, from leaving school at 16, has been involved in some sporting capacity. Yeah. So it's been teams, but to go and do this on my own, you know, I can sit there and log on and right move, whatever it is. But Kim gave me the belief that you can do these things. I think a lot of the time it's a lack of belief in yourself. It's that personal belief that you can actually go and do this, because you do get all this information thrown at you and then you go, oh, what am I going to do here? But get out there and do it. And the mentorship to me was the final tick in the box for me. And I think Kim was an important part of that for me, because
choosing the right
mentor is so important. You get your list, you send it, you don't know that person. So we did a bit of research, we spoke to other people, and Kim was actually superb. I really do think that Kim was as I said, the final tick in the box for me to get away from being that team person to being, we're still a team together, me and Jules, but I had to be more independent. And that was the massive thing that got me in that belief to go and do that.
Brilliant.
Just going back to,
great story.
Sorry, Graham. Just going back to me, to the whole process where we mentioned about that 2 hours in the pub, which although it's early in the morning, we're not allowed to do now. When we resat Creative Finance in November, we'd done our mentorship in the April. The previous February, just before mentorship, was when we'd done Creative Finance. And Degs used to hate going into the pub, whether it was the one next door that way or that way down in Richmond. And you've never been one for networking. You'd rather stay out of the site and just have a drink and that. When we went in the November and did the Creative Finance resit, because how you do the introductions at the start of the day, we stood up, and that's when I thanked Mark, and then we obviously had a chat later on. But because of what we said when we stood up and said, you know, this is a resit, you know, we're 6 weeks away from financial freedom. At the time, we were just going through 2 refinances. So we knew when we were sat in that room that we were 6 weeks away from our financial freedom figure. And that night in the pub, everyone on that course wanted to speak to Degs. Previously, they were always wanting to speak to me, but it had switched, and you were then absolutely in your element.
Because I did a lot of work on the rebuild. You know, our builder's my best mate, so I was there an awful lot of time. I might have been clearing muck off the floor and brushing up, but I was there with him all the time, clearing the rubbish away, tidying things up, doing this, bit of that, and it was great that I learned an awful lot myself about what I can do by watching him and helping him, but being around that environment, I learned more that helped me tell other people about what you can do. You know, if you'd have said to me, as you said 2 years ago, that I'd have stood in a pub with a glass of wine in my hand talking about how we did this bill for social housing and how we've done this, I wouldn't have done it. But the last 2 years have been a huge jump from where I was to where I am now. And that figure of financial freedom we achieved quicker because of that social housing property. That's the one that really gave us the big boost to get from there. We went from there to there in one big jump. But I wouldn't have stood there and talked to people 2 years ago. But it feels a lot more easier now because I've done more work with property. I hadn't done any work with property prior to that. I've done it now for 2 years, and I feel more confident talking about it.
It's really interesting to hearing you talk about that, because I spend a lot of my time in my business working with ex-professional sports people who really struggle with the transitions. So you being honest about confidence and making that transition into a new world of property is brilliant for everybody to hear. And that's what you got to do. You've got to take some ownership, but you've also got to have a coach. You've got to have some mentorship, and you probably have to have a strong driving wife sitting next to you, who, if she drives the golf clubs like she drives the business.
Yeah, I'm the handbrake. I told you, I've got to keep the handbrake going all the time. She goes to 200 miles an hour. I've got to go back to 70 all the time.
Brilliant.
But I think it's great. We talk about sports people in general. You know, you are very cautious as a sports person. You are your own little bubble. You know, there's things out there that they don't realise. And, you know, one of our contacts in Northwest is a former footballer who's got his own business up there with property now. And there's more people out there doing these. But sports people are very much, I think, isolated in their own little world at times. And when I left football in 2001, I didn't know what I was going to do. I went into sales and marketing and ended up going to university, which for me was a massive part of my development, because I left school at 16 and I went to university just before my 40th birthday for 3 years. And then 3 years were the hardest 3 years of my life. I'd rather do pre-season training day after day after day after day than sit and listen to lectures and that. But the proudest achievement my whole life at the moment is getting my degree, my 2-2. I know it was only a 2-2, but I've proved I can do it. As a sportsman, I was in a team. If it was rubbish, number 5 came up and I went off and got an early bath or a shower. But that 3 years gave me a lot of belief. And then working in schools, working with children of all abilities and all ages, and then sat into that special needs niche, for me, was brilliant. And we've had a wonderful 16, 17 years together now. And I'm looking forward to, now we've both retired, continuing to, I'll still do work with the Special Olympics of Great Britain, the Special Olympics of Northwest, because I really enjoy all that work. I like being around those people, those adults, those different sports. But we're looking now to expand and have our next 20, 30 years just relaxing, chilling out, playing golf, but also helping other people, because people are now coming to us and asking our advice. You know, we've got 3 or 4 who've done our basic training together, coming to us for advice, because we seem to have taken a rather large step compared to their little tiny footprints. We've done what, 8 in 2 years. Jules, I remember this day exactly. We've got our little notes and it says play golf courses all over the world. And Jules said, I want to retire on the 9th of March 2020. She retired on the 13th of March 2020. She was 4 days late.
But that's only because of how the weeks fell.
Okay, blame the weeks then.
They made me do that extra week.
But that was always the plan. I can still see the note now. Yeah, I can see the note now. I want to retire by the 9th of March 2020. And due to her driving and me keeping the handbrake on and finding Kim coming doing the mentorship, finding that property at the right time. I remember Kim's face when we went to see the property sheet. It's a 3-story with the basement. And I saw to Kim, she went,
Our eyes lit up. It was
her
like,
eyes, and she started nodding. She went, "You've got something here."
But actually, it was just before lunch. We'd done the viewing at 10:30 in the morning, hadn't we? So we went back to the hotel and ran the numbers, and we were mapping it out and everything. And we'd worked the numbers on a 5-bed HMO, and it worked superbly well. So we're ringing, put the offer in. Within 20 minutes, the offer was accepted. And that wasn't because we'd gone in too high, but we knew it was a HMO and we could go in that bit more than a buy-to-let or anything. But we'd done the numbers, and then Kim went off for lunch. So we rang her and said, "We've had the offer accepted." And I went, "By the way, why have we done the numbers on a 5-bed HMO? It's on 4 level. Surely it's got to be a 6. There's 2 there, 2 there, and 2 there." So we'd done his numbers on a 5 instead of a 6. So it was like even more in it. It was like fantastic.
Guys, listen, I'm conscious of the. It's got to be the first hall's got to be 10:30 tee off.
No, it's coffee time, and I'm going to go refelt a shed today. See, I'm even refelting sheds now. I've learned so much in the last 2 years.
Brilliant, but honestly, guys, it's a pleasure having this chat with you and catching up with you guys, and I'm looking forward to our game of golf. Maybe we should just do it in Dubai if the weather's going to be as bad as it is.
Bring it on, mate. Bring it on.
Fab, lovely. And I'll bring the best golfer in the family. I'll bring my dad because he can at least play a little bit. But guys,
I'll come with the best golfer in my family too.
Nice. I'm going to finish with my favorite question, which I've been asking everybody. So anybody who's watching this, they want to start their property journey, or they're making those small footprints already. What are your top tips? Give me 2 or 3 top tips in order to help some people out on their journey currently.
Training. Get the right training, get the right knowledge. That's very, very important. I've learned that in the last 2 years. Knowing the right things, learning from people who have done it wrong and learned the right way will help you in the long term. So get the training for me.
Another one is, don't be afraid to use sources to get your first couple, but make sure the sourcing agents that you're using are credible. There's a lot of rogue ones out there that have literally just done the bit of training and they're running the numbers. So use sources, don't be afraid of sources. But,
do your due diligence. Let's have that little due diligence caveat at the bottom there.
Yeah.
But doing sources to start with, because we're in a job, you haven't got time to be out there doing everything. So, you can get a sourcing deal. They've done 80% of the work, but still don't just take it. Do that extra bit on top of. But it's worth paying the sourcing fee because it just gives you so much time back. Because to us, it's the time that's the thing that holds you back, not the money. You can get the money, you can find the money. It's the time.
Yeah. Little steps rather than massive big steps. I think too many people see the word HMO and see instant cash flow. HMOs tend to be a lot more expensive than 3 or 4 little buy-to-lets. Get the foundation blade first and then start building from there.
Fab. I'm going to add one just from the stuff that you guys have given me today, and it's still about team. So Derek, you're still part of a team. Your mentor, your builder, Julia, you're still part of a team, and the balance as well between not having to work as Julia did for a while and playing golf, but still sticking to your strategy as well. So balance and team are still vital components of the ingredients of what makes your property portfolio so successful.
Absolutely. And whatever team you pick to start with doesn't necessarily mean that's the team that's going to stay with you all along. Yeah. We did have to get rid of one builder as part of the bigger build. It came with a recommendation and he came with our builder from some other jobs, but he didn't do the level of work that we thought was high enough standard, especially on the fire doors. Mm-hmm. So don't be afraid, just because you've brought them in your team, to not release them from your team. If they're not right and they're not giving you what you want, release them. There's other people out there that can fill that.
And as I said, your team will be a lot of people you already know. I've got mate who's a builder, mate who fits carpets, mate who's a painter and decorator. My son and future son-in-law's at Sparky now. People already have those skills. I went to see my brother. My brother's also does a lot of property work now. I went to see him Tuesday to pick some stuff up. And he took me around his house, and I met 2 people that Jules has played football with for the Everton Internet team, who are both plasterers. I haven't told you yet, but we've got 2 more plasterers in the pipeline now from just meet my brother and going to his build. It's amazing who you know through who you know.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
Yeah.
Brilliant, guys. Thank you very much. For everybody else, please subscribe and share. If you've got any comments, please leave some comments to ask Julia and Derek some questions at the Property Investors Club. But guys, thank you very much. Enjoy your golf day today and tomorrow and for the next 50 years of your life.
Fantastic.
Cheers,
Thanks very much, Graham.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers,
See you,
guys.
mate.
Thanks.